think we wouldn't?
Sarah nodded decisively.
In these past few weeks, yes, quite frequently.
Harry Sullivan grinned, thinking to himself that Sarah had excellent reasons for her recent doubts. He doubted his own chance of survival quite a few times since first meeting the doctor. It had all started with that terrifying business of the giant robot. Harry Sullivan, newly appointed medical officer to the United Nations Intelligence Task Force, UNIT for short, had been given the job of looking after that organization's scientific advisor, who was in fact the doctor, recently recovered from some mysterious illness, which had left him, it appeared, a changed man. The robot business had been bad enough, but at least it had all happened on Earth, an Earth which Harry sometimes wondered if he'd ever see again. Rashly following the doctor and Sarah into what looked like an old-fashioned police box, Harry had found himself whipped away from Earth and thrown into a series of horrifying adventures in time and space. They had just escaped, barely, from the most recent, an attempt by the Doctor to go back in time and prevent the growing menace of the Daleks. On this occasion they had travelled not in the police box, the Doctor's TARDIS, but by means of a time bracelet provided by the Doctor's mysterious superiors, the Time Lords. Now that same bracelet had brought them back to the space station, scene of an earlier adventure, where they were supposed to pick up the TARDIS and go home. Harry looked round the empty control room.
I say, Doctor, the TARDIS isn't here.
The Doctor sighed.
I was wondering when you'd notice that.
Sarah stared at him accusingly.
Something's gone wrong, hasn't it?
The Doctor held up his wrist, adorned with a heavy, elaborately decorated bracelet.
There's really nothing that could go wrong with the time bracelet.
He shook the bracelet, holding it close to his ear.
Apart from a molecular short circuit,
he added sadly.
All right, Doctor, said Sarah. Tell us the worst. Where is the TARDIS?
The Doctor rubbed his fingers through his tangled curls.
Well,
he began hopefully,
I think there's been a little temporal displacement, you see. We've arrived too early, and the TARDIS just hasn't got here yet.
The Doctor beamed, as if this solved everything. Sarah wasn't satisfied.
How early are we?
Oh, about 1,000 years or so.
The Doctor looked carefully at the equipment in the control room.
In this era, the space station's doing the kind of job it was originally meant for, a beacon to guide and service space freighters.
So we've got to hang about here for 1,000 years or so, waiting for the TARDIS to turn up?
No, of course not, Sarah. The TARDIS will be drifting towards us through time, and as soon as the Time Lords realize what's happened, they'll hurry it up for us.
The Doctor slipped the time bracelet from his wrist, shook it again, and tossed it casually onto a nearby control console. Harry looked at him in astonishment.
Don't you want it anymore?
No, it's no more use to us now.
Can I have it then? As a souvenir?
The Doctor chuckled.
Certainly, Harry. But you'd better look after it very carefully.
Oh, I shall. Thanks awfully.
Harry reached eagerly for the time bracelet, just as it shimmered and vanished. He turned indignantly to the Doctor.
You knew that was going to happen.
Who, me?
Asked the Doctor innocently. Before Harry could protest further, the Doctor went on.
Let's take a look around to pass the time, shall we? Now, as I remember, this door leads to the perimeter corridor.
The Doctor slid open the connecting door. A stiff corpse fell out, landing almost on top of him. Instinctively, the Doctor jumped back, and the falling body crashed to the floor. All three stared horrified at the corpse for a moment. It was the body of a man in his 30s, wearing the simple coverall-type uniform of a space technician. Harry knelt by the body and made a swift examination.
He's dead all right, poor chap. Dead some time.
How long?
Snapped the Doctor. Harry shrugged.
Hard to say. A week or two. Could be longer. There's very little putrefaction there.
The Doctor nodded.